Welcome to Creepin' It Real. Of course, I am Judah. This week's movie is coming to you courtesy of recommendation of Reginald Grimsby. Now, Reginald, if I mispronounce your name in any way, my apology. Reginald, I met him in a horror chat room that I was invited to on Instagram. When I jumped on there, I asked everybody to tell me what subgenres of horror they appreciated, and Reginald was the first to pop in and say that he was a big fan of slashers, and immediately I knew that I should stay away from this man because I hate slashers. They are my least favorite subgenre of horror there is. But he redeemed himself after being on the chat for a while. I noticed that he was a fan of Asian horror, so that redeemed him in my eyes. Anyway, look at this. This is Reginald. How could you not trust this man? Now, I asked him to write a little something as to why people would want to check out this movie. And his recommendation is, I recommend Honeymoon because it's a movie that keeps you guessing as to what is going on. Actually, what shirt does he have on? Oh, he's got a Terror Vision shirt on. Okay. That was a crazy 80s movie. 100%. Seemed like it was made for kids, but the topics in it, the parents were swingers. It definitely was not made for kids, but it was absurd. It was our cartoony to the max. Okay, back to Honeymoon. Reginald told me that I should go into this movie blind. You need to stop watching this review because I'm going to ruin this movie for you. Spoilers, go watch the movie, then come back, watch my review, and leave comments. Let's watch this trailer. I will be pausing it to break it up so that I don't get a copyright claim. This shot right here is quite nice. Sequentially, this is actually towards the end of the movie, but it's kind of cold in my area in the Midwest right now. And I got to tell you, even though I'm not a big fan of water, I would much rather be there than here at the moment.
So we didn't get a regular wedding cake. We decided on something that was special.
So immediately after watching this movie, I reached out to Reginald to thank him for the recommendation. But when we were talking, I did let him know that because this is based off of Newlyweds, it was really tough, and it seemed like a really long time before the movie started picking up, that you had to deal with a lot of this cutesy Newlywed stuff, and I am just not a fan of that. It makes me want to vomit. It's very fake. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get on a tangent here. Let me just...
Special for us instead.
I love you, honeybee.
Oh yeah, vomit.
So this is the famous family cottage.
Do you like it?
This dude right here, Harry Treadaway, I've seen him in only one other thing called HBO Monsters, Penny Dreadful. And again, I've only seen him in that and this. And based off those two things, I know that this man likes to show his dick.
Here's what I see. The woods. A lake. No one around.
Yeah, the honeymoon stuff was just way over the top for me.
B? This isn't funny. B? Please! B! You okay? Couldn't find you.
Random pause here just for the heck of it to break things up. Thanks for watching. If you've seen a couple of my reviews and you like it, I would appreciate you subscribing. But more than that, I would love to hear your comments. If you've seen this movie, if you're going to watch it, I would love for you to come back and leave your thoughts. You know, if you think that I could do something better, then by all means, leave a comment. If you feel you need to downvote this, I support you in that. But I would ask that you not. And if you do, you definitely have to leave a comment as to why. Because if it's something that I can change, I will. But if it's just purely based off of my opinion and you don't like my opinion, well, that sounds like a you problem.
He's sleepwalking. I'm fine.
How's my little zombie face this morning?
I made the coffee.
That's it right there. Divorce that bitch. She did not make the coffee right. He likes black coffee. That was not black. That was not coffee. I hate coffee. I actually think a lot of people who don't drink coffee say they love the smell of coffee. And I don't have a good sniffer to begin with. So I don't smell a lot of things. I'll start with like talking about perfume or cologne. If I do actually happen to smell perfume or cologne, it generally doesn't smell like something I can't say, oh, that smells florally, or that smells like clippings of grass, fresh mowed grass. It generally just smells like chemicals, and it really bothers me. Now, I remember one day walking into Barnes & Noble and just being like, man, this smells like vomit in here. First time this ever happened to me. I was like, oh my gosh, overwhelming smell of vomit. It was the coffee from the Starbucks in the Barnes & Noble. And ever since then, every time I smell coffee, all I can think of is vomit.
What's going on with you?
I would like to thank you for listening to my little rant about coffee and vomit. You are the best.
Feel distant, different.
If you too think coffee smells like vomit, please leave a comment so that I know that I'm not the only one.
Did something happen in the woods?
That just said creepy as hell. If I was in the situation and this was happening to my wife, it would be unnerving, but creepy as hell isn't strong.
What's this?
They're mosquito bites.
They don't look like bug bites.
You're acting crazy. You should leave. You're not safe.
What's going on? We need to leave.
You can't.
Where did you put the keys? Where are the keys? Who's out there? Who's shining a light?
I want to protect you.
Where is my wife? You look like her, but you're not her. Talk to me! Tell me what's going on! Anyone tell me what's going on!
Something bad happened to me. Something bad happened to me in the woods.
This is the synopsis. A newlywed couple find their lake country honeymoon descend into chaos after Paul finds B wandering and disoriented in the middle of the night. The genre that they put this in is paranormal. But in my opinion, this is not paranormal. The fact that they say paranormal just makes no sense to me. But you watch it and you let me know. In the trailer, the husband calls B his honeybee. And in the movie, she makes a buzzing sound against his lips. Now, if you're on IMDb, oh my gosh, and you go to the trivia, it says, B makes the buzzing noise to Paul's lips when he calls her honeybee. However, the noise is more reminiscent of a typical yellow jacket wasp. What? I've been told that my reviews are irrelevant because they're nitpicky. I'm just talking about how I perceive the movie and how things affect me as I'm watching it. This right here, this seems nitpicky. Going bzz, bzz, or buzz, buzz, and then being so anal to say, well, that's not the proper honeybee buzzing sound. That's more of a yellow jacket wasp. And as you can see here, it's been downvoted as being unhelpful. The 10 people who found this helpful, they're all like beekeepers or something. I don't understand that whatsoever. I found that very funny. As this movie goes on, Things start to get really confusing and violent towards the end. He ties her up, yelling at her, like, what did you do with my wife? And she's insistent that she is his wife. So at this point, you kind of start to question his sanity, though most of the time you're questioning hers. I mean, she's doing some absurd things to her body that are just like, why are you doing that? Like jabbing a poker in her woohoo and so forth. A lot of stuff that makes no sense. So he has her tied down and he's like, no, you're not my wife. And then he starts slowly going over her body. And he's like, you have her toes. And he's working his way over her body. And he's like, you have her knees. You smell like her. And then he starts kissing her legs. You taste like her. But, and then he reaches in and they don't show, but I can only imagine that this guy is like fingering her. And this was very troubling for me, even though that's his wife. But when I saw that and the way that he was somehow suggesting that if she didn't like the fact that she's tied down to a bed and he's like fingering her. And if she's not into it, clearly there's something wrong with her. That was just super weird to me. Among other things that were supposed to indicate that something strange was occurring with the wife, she at one point says that she's tired and she's going to take a sleep. And the husband's like, what? You're going to take a sleep? And she's like, oh, sorry, I'm going to go take a nap. Well, for me, I'm not going to think that's weird. If somebody said I'm going to go take a sleep, I'm going to be like, I understand that feeling exactly. I'm going to go take a sleep myself. Or if they said I'm going to take a sleep, instead of saying take a nap, I would just laugh. I wouldn't somehow think that, oh my gosh, this person is losing their mind because they said sleep instead of nap. And then there's some other thing where they rolled dice and the wife said, two of a kind. And he was like, yeah, some people would call that a pair. And I was like, bro, chill the fuck out. That I just felt like some of the clues that something was wrong with her, he was just responding in too an extreme of a way. I mean, there were other things that I was just like, yeah, there's something wrong here. But the fact that she said two of a kind versus a pair, I'm like, bro, take a chill, okay? Everything's going to be fine. Sorry that she wants to go take a sleep and not a nap. I'm sorry that that offends your sensibility. I don't know. Things like that really annoyed me. But overall, I do want to say that I did not find this movie to be a waste of time. And Reginald did not mislead me. I don't think I liked it as much as he did. If I'm going to rate this, it's not going to be super high. We're going somewhere at like a 6 out of 10 for me. But I didn't feel I wasted my time. And I do appreciate slow burn movies. And this is a slow burn. If I didn't have to deal with that cutesy newlywed stuff at the beginning, this would have been better. But had that not been there, I don't know what other route they would have went to make it the slow burn. It definitely does keep you guessing for a while, but I think there are some points where you definitely aren't like, oh, this is the childhood friend. I think you definitely lean towards there being more something sinister and supernatural, if you want to call it that, going on. In that case, the ending, you definitely don't see the ending coming. I will give it that. And the most this movie was not scary. I don't remember any jump scares, but I definitely, at the end, I did not see what happens to the husband. I did not see that coming. This does not have a happy ending. This is definitely like, well, that sucks. And it would be terrifying to be in that situation, to live through it. But I didn't feel a lot of existential dread while watching this movie. I didn't feel any fear. I wasn't able to put myself in their place. It was more so just okay, let's see how they play this out. Would I give this a recommendation? Not as much as Reginald would. I would say watch this movie. Let me know. Is Reginald right? Is this movie fantastic and you should definitely go into it blind? Or am I right? And it's not fantastic, but it's definitely not a waste of time. Thanks for watching. I'm Judah. This has been Creepin' It Real, and I'll see you next time.